YouTube! What's going on, guys? Raptor NLN back with another updated Blue Eyes deck profile. Similar to the last one, but I just wanted to showcase some changes. At the end, I plan on giving you a test hand or two and kind of showing you what this deck is all about. I've had a couple people kind of question it, so I just kind of wanted to showcase some of it. I'll probably make a separate video showing some duels and stuff like that with it to kind of go more in depth with it. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know kind of what you guys want to see in the future. And without further ado, I'm just going to get straight into it. First of all, obviously we didn't change up too much here. We still got the 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Got to play 3. Burn through it really fast. Yeah, I have nothing more to say really. He's just the big boss monster himself, and my favorite card in the entire game. So must play 3. Next, one alternative. I don't like seeing more than this card, more than one of this card, so that's why I only play 1, because I also play Malefic Blue Eyes as kind of like a second alternative, just because he is not a hard once per turn. There are times where I summon him twice in a turn, so keep that in mind. He is not once per turn if you have a way to recycle him and summon him again. So that's kind of nice for your rank 8 plays and stuff like that. Next, I switched out Dragon Spirit of the White for Deep Eyes Abyss Dragon, or yeah, Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon, sorry, not Deep Eyes. This card is helping consistency quite a bit. Dragon Spirit of the White I am side decking now for back row decks still, which you just side this out in its place if you need to. But I'm really liking what this card is bringing to the deck. And if for those of you who don't know, basically when you special summon, you can add a ritual spell or polymerization from your deck to your hand, as long as you have a Blue Eyes on field or graveyard, and alternative counts. And then at the end phase, you can add a level 8 dragon, 8 or higher dragon. So you can search any of the other big, dragon cards that you play in the deck, and then you can banish them from the graveyard to give all your level 8 and higher monsters, dragon monsters, 1,000 attack. So that's pretty cool. Next, I am playing 1 Chaos Max Dragon at 1, just because he's a really good, if you open up with this and you kind of want to follow up with a second turn play to save up for next turn, this is kind of what I usually go for. With playing it at 1, it's not so bricky, and Abyss Dragon makes it very, very able to play it just 1. So just the 1 Chaos Max. You could cut it if you want, but I'm honestly really liking it, and it's kind of one of the cards that I end up siding out too, if I need to. So next, I am playing still the 1 Chaos Emperor Dragon of Armageddon and the Livionaire. I feel like both are very good mandatory 1-of cards, especially the cool combo I like to do with this is search with Melody is Chaos Dragon of Armageddon and Malefic Blue Eyes. Now say you have like an alternative already in hand, you can basically search a Blue Eyes with this, because you special summon it, by banishing a Blue Eyes out of your deck, and then play this in your scale, pay 1,000 to add Blue Eyes to your hand. So that's a really good little combo that I like to do. But yeah, just 1 of each of those. I definitely feel like they get bricky at more than 1. Definitely no reason to play more than 1. Next, I think this ratio still stayed the same. I'm playing 2 White Stone Legend and 1 Ancients. I really don't feel like this ratio needs to change. I feel like this is perfect right where it's at. You could bump up White Stone Legend to 3. I feel like that would kind of boost consistency a little bit and play cards of consonance. But overall, I'm not really too fond of it still, so I'm just keeping the ratio. Next, I'm playing 2 Sage with the Eyes of Blue. I would not mind playing 3 of this card, but I just can't find the space. I would definitely play 2 of this though. No matter what, even if you see 2 in your opening hand, it's not usually a brick. You just normal summon, search an egg, and then send both to grave to special summon a level 8. Really, really good. And then also makes Dragon Spirit of the White in the side deck more viable, because you can just pull them out of your deck. Next, 1 Seafort. He's really just kind of the recycling guard of the deck. You know, you can trade any of your level 8s for a different level 8. You can banish them from your graveyard to add a level 8 light or dark dragon from your deck or from your graveyard back to your hand. So I feel like he's a good one of. 2 of is good too, but I just cannot find the space for the life of me, so I just cut him down to 1. Next, I'm still playing the Invoked package, so double Alistair. Again, another card that you could bump to 3, because I feel like, you know, seeing 2 Alistair in the opening hand isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I just can't find space for the 3rd one, so 2 has been working pretty well for me. So, and I'm not playing Desires or anything like that, so I don't have to worry about banishing him. So, next we have, this is kind of one of the changes, double Gamma Seal. You could bump this up to 3. I really have no problems with this card at 3. There again, I just kind of can't find the space to play the 3rd one. I love this card though. Love it, love it, love it. I don't know why for so long I side decked it. This is totally like the best main deck card ever. You know, you get over Dragoon, you get over all your problematic stuff super easy, and its effect is if your opponent already controls one, you can special summon the other one, so he's never a brick, or you can just hold it, you know, for later, and he's a trade-in target, so kind of works. The only thing I wish is that he was a light attribute, but you know, it's not the worst problem. And for the last of the monsters, and why I wish he was a light attribute, is double Galaxy Soldier. I still feel like this is very, very viable. It kind of unclogs your hand with all the stones and the blue eyes and stuff. And, you know, you can go for the infinity play. If you can't go for the infinity play, if, you know, if they negate one of your stuff or banish it or whatever, you can still link it away. So I still feel like it's very, very good. You could play 3 if you really want to try to maximize on the Cyber Dragon infinity play, but I find that 2 is just fine the way it is. Moving on to the spells. I play 1 instant fusion still, really good for Millennium Eyes Restrict. Basically a snatch, steal, effect negate type thing, so definitely still recommend that. It's a free card. Next, I'm playing 1 Terraforming, 2 Meltdown, and 1 Mystic Mine. Now I understand Mystic Mine is very degenerate, but this is not a win condition in this deck. This is your recovery card to win as soon as you know, get your hand. Usually you play through the first couple turns and you run out of cards in your hand, you run out of options, so you smack this down, you know, let your opponent sit there for a little bit and then come back with whatever you draw into. I feel like this ratio works perfect, especially with Malefic Blue Eyes, you know, playing 3 field spells, not to mention your opponent generally plays field spells, so Malefic Blue Eyes is pretty live most of the time anyway. Next, Triple Melody. You play so many targets, and I feel like Melody is just kind of a staple in any Blue Eyes deck. Definitely play 3. Next, I am playing 3 copies of Trade-In. You know, you play like 11 level 8s, I want to say, so you got plenty of targets. Most of them are searchable in some way, shape, or form. So you don't usually have a problem activating this card. It's basically like the pot of greed for the deck. Next, I am playing 1 Dragon Shrine. You could also play Foolish Burial, but I just like the 1 Dragon Shrine. Kind of gets stuff going into my graveyard a little quicker. Searches off the stones and stuff. I did decide to main deck 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. I really wanted to have an outs to like another Mystic Mine deck or people that play back row. I feel like it's the best back row clearing card in the game, realistically. Obviously, there's other good cards. I'm not saying it's like the end-all, be-all, but I feel like it's free to play, and you know, you can always side it out if you don't need it. So, just 1 Feather Duster. And then for the revival spells, I am only playing 2. 1 Return of the Dragon Lords and 1 Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is pretty self-explanatory. It's a free revival card, basically, out of anywhere. Return of the Dragon Lords, I wouldn't play it at more than 2, just because I feel like more than that gets bricky. I don't even like the you know, the possibility of opening 2 in the same hand, especially going first. So that's why I cut it to 1. So this ratio has been working out for me pretty well, but I definitely would, you know, if you're going to bump it up, I would bump it up to 2. Next, for the fusion spells, I play double invocation still. I feel like this is pretty much mandatory, you know, in case, you know, they banish your first one, or, you know, they ash the Alistair, you have the potential to have the other one in your hand, type of thing. Just kind of increases your ratios for seeing it. And this card, you know, if you brick on, you know, 3 blue eyes in your hand in this card, like that's a play as well for a fusion. So, and then 1 polymerization, because it's searchable by deep eye or blue eyes, you know, the new blue eyes card. I always forget its name. Blue eyes Abyss Dragon, which is sad because I really like that name. But and then for the final spell, final card of the deck, 1 chaos form. Like I said, with Abyss Dragon, it makes the whole Chaos Max variant very, very easy to play at just 1 card each of the Ritual and the Chaos Max, because Chaos Max is searchable in multiple ways, and then you just grab this with the Abyss Dragon. So, worst case scenario, even if you are not able to grab the Chaos form off of it and it bricks in your hand, you just discard it for Macabre on a negate, or, you know, whatever you got to do. You know, discard it for Melody, any of the above, right? So now we're going to move on to the extra deck here. For Link Monsters, I'm still playing the 1 Almirage. I feel like it's really good protection, kind of just a good starter card for when you go to, you know, go first and play your Alistair. 1 Invoker of Madness. Honestly, the whole reason that I play this is just in case I see an invocation and I don't have an Alistair, but I have a way to make him. It kind of helps, you know, continue the plays. I'm only playing 2 Macabre for the Invoked fusions, so you go through them pretty quick, but then again, like, the games don't really last too long anymore, so you kind of just need to see him as quick as possible sometimes, so that's why I play him. Next, I do play the 1 Blacklister Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. This card just sometimes flat out wins me games, so I definitely recommend it as a 1-of. All you have to use is a level 7 or higher, and he can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, and that is so easy to do in this deck that I highly recommend that you guys pick yourself up one and play it if you are not already. And for the last Link monster, I am playing 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Basically, you get to use an opponent's monster as a material for the Link fodder, so you know, it's just a good way to get rid of any problematic monster that you don't already have a kaiju or an out for. I mean, you have to fill up your board in order to do it, but it's kind of a small price to pay. Plus, it does have an effect that I feel like most people forget about, myself included, that it can negate revival effects, like moving a monster, like special summoning a monster out of the grave. And then it is also actually a walking skill drain. So, you know, if you're making it on a big board on your opponent, like, you can negate the rest of their field. So that's a good thing to keep in mind as well with that card. So moving on to the overlays, I play 1 Hope Harbinger, pretty standard spell negate, attack deflection, stuff like that. 1 Photon Lord, because it searches the Galaxy Soldiers, and it's a effect negate, so pretty good. And usually I'm sitting on it with a wall of 3,000, and most people can't just, you know, beat over that sometimes, so that comes into play more often than not. 1 Dingirsu, I feel like he's the most universal rank 8 right at the moment. Just does so much for you, protection and spot removal. Just gets rid of anything without destroying. And then for the last of the overlays, I am playing the Cyber Dragon package. You can take this out if you want. You can take out the Galaxy Soldier package if you want, but he's kind of my favorite overlay of all time. Just being able to snatch up a monster, negate stuff, increase attack power. Pretty good. And I will say, the cool little thing about this package is, if your opponent stops this, you can pull out a Macabre for free, which is really cool and rarely comes up, but it is kind of like a cool little feature that I have found through playtesting. So I definitely recommend it. The whole synergy kind of just goes together. So Now, a big change is I have started playing the bigger Blue Eyes fusions with Twin Burst. I feel like he's in all my profiles. He is just a good solid attacker. Gets rid of a lot of stuff, can't be destroyed by battle. So I don't think I'll ever stop playing this. You can cut Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate if you want, but I have had it win games by itself a time or two here lately in testing. So I'm kind of liking it, kind of disliking it. Kind of up to you whether you want to play it or not. And then Blue Eyes Ultimate, or the alternative Ultimate Dragon, definitely I would play. You have so many ways to make it. Polymerization used to be Dragon's Mirror. You can do that if you want. I just wanted everything to be kind of searchable and flow with the Abyss Dragon. And, you know, Dragon's Mirror is great. It's just not searchable. And you can banish all 3 of your Blue Eyes and still play Yu-Gi-Oh! With this deck, which is kind of nice. So if you do want to swap that out, that is more than fine. But I'm kind of liking Polymerization right at the moment. And then double Macabre and 1 Millenniumizer Strict for the last extra deck monsters. This card is super good, and these are your negates, obviously, so there's not really too much to explain there. This card just takes stuff from the field or graveyard and negates the effect, so really, really good. Definitely recommend it, especially with Instant Fusion, pulling it out for free. Next, for the side deck, this is all kind of personal preference to you, but I am playing triple Ash Blossom, and to go with that, I'm also playing triple Infinite Impermanence. This is literally just for the FTK decks. I don't care about siding it for anything else, usually. It's really more or less just to prevent your opponent from sitting down and saying, okay, I'm going to beat you first turn every game, so you can't play. So that's really all this is for, because I know FTK decks are a thing, and I don't want to just sit down and lose to them. So there's that. I am playing Dragon Spirit of the White and Twin Twisters at 1 for the back row. The reason being is I also side evenly matched. This kind of deals with monsters, spells, and traps, whatever you need it to. So I feel like this is kind of a good ratio. Really easy to side in and out depending on what you need to do. You know, in Dragon Spirit of the White, you can pull straight out of your deck with, you know, like 3 different cards, so it's really easy to get to, and it can tag out. So really good there. Next, for the final extra deck piece, I am playing triple Winged Dragon Raw Sphere Mode and the Winged Dragon Raw. You could cut this if you really want to, but it has come out, I would say, at least 2 times, maybe more, and just flat out won me the game by attributing my Raw Sphere Mode because I couldn't do anything with it. Play it, pay 1,000 to pop a bunch of cards, because that's not a once per turn effect, and then just attack and pretty much control the game from there. So plus I really like the fact that I have a Ghost Ray Raw. That's pretty cool. So but yeah, so that does it for the side deck and the extra deck and the main deck. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I'm going to kind of quickly shuffle it here and show you just kind of like a quick little hand to see what I get and try to play through it real fast so that you guys can kind of see, you know, what a general hand would look like. And I'm not going to like go crazy with shuffling, so like obviously like we might have a better turnout with better like power shuffling, but so quickly we have Instant Fusion, Sage, Castmax. Okay, so this is essentially kind of a brick, but you can first I would activate the Instant Fusion to pull out the Millenniumizer Strict. All right, and this is going first. And then I would normal summon the Sage, bed it in hand traps to grab any stone. At this point, it really doesn't matter. And then you can link these 2 away for the Alistair link. All right, and now you can fusion summon using Invocation and banishing your Sage with the Eyes of Blue, and you made a Macabre. And you are also under the protection with Millenniumizer Strict, and you're also you also have the Millenniumizer Strict in there for later, in case you want to reborn it with like Monster Reborn or Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. So, and then you also have, you know, these 2 cards in hand. So, I mean, that's pretty good. And then, yeah, if you would have went second, I mean, you have another Sage. But, hey, you know, you definitely just have several different ways to go about your hands and what you can do. Obviously, this is Yu-Gi-Oh, so you can still potentially brick. But I do kind of feel like, obviously, that wasn't like the best hand. But I feel like that kind of showcased, even without shuffling tremendously, what the deck can do. I will say, like, the greatest, I feel like, in my personal opinion, the greatest opening hand would be like these 3, with, I would say, terraforming, really any form of the Invoked engine. So whether it be Meltdown, Alistair, or terraforming, it can be any one of those 3. And then the final card can be anything. If you, I mean, if you really want to go nutty, it can be alternative. It can be Malefic Blue Eyes. It can be pretty much any combo extender, for the most part. So basically, with this hand, if you play it out with no hand traps, going first, you end up making like Macabre, Infinity, and either Hope Harbinger or Photon Lord, whatever you kind of want to do. I think I would make Hope Harbinger. But yeah, so I mean, you can definitely play this out. I would definitely start with the terraforming, grab the Meltdown, play the Meltdown, add the Alistair. Here, I can kind of play it out real quick too, just so you can see. So terraforming adds Meltdown effect, normal summon, adds the invocation, wherever the heck it is. There we go. So now you've got a hand that looks like this, right? And you've got, let me zoom out so I get a little bit more of the field going on here. Right, okay, so I will keep this extra deck stuff separate. All right, so now you have a hand that looks like this. You can pitch the White Stone, the Galaxy Soldier, and then effect, you'll add Blue Eyes White Dragon, and you also add the other Galaxy Soldier. Right, now to keep yourself safe from, you know, Nibiru, anything like that, you can link this away for Almirage, right? So you make the Almirage first, mainly because you're going to fuse first for invocation, maximizing your Alistair, banishing Whitestone and Alistair. For the Macabre that I set aside and now don't know where it is, here it is. So you got that, and you got this engrave, and we're going to make these in a minute. So you're sitting on a hand that looks like this. Sorry, that was on the field. So now you can essentially reveal the Blue Eyes, especially on the alternative. And now you can pitch Melody for cost, or activate Melody, discard the Blue Eyes. Now you can add Chaos Emperor Dragon and Malefic Blue Eyes. Activate Malefic Blue Eyes' effect to banish a Blue Eyes. To special summon. Overlay. And now you can make your Hope Harbinger or Photon Lord, whatever you want to make. And then you can play Armageddon. Add back your Blue Eyes that you banished. Activate Galaxy Soldier's effect again to discard and send. Make the Nova. If they stop you here, you make another Macabre, but you go into Infinity. And then you can activate Invocation's effect to add Alistair back to hand, shuffling it back into the deck. And then you've still got this in the extra deck that you can play, which by the time, you know, any of the stuff, if it goes to graveyard, you know, you'll have a dark monster under here that you can banish to play him. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of like the most ideal going first hand. Obviously, it doesn't happen all the time, but I feel like it's not too necessarily unlikely to see. You play multiple ways of playing Alistair. The Galaxy Soldier is probably the hardest thing to see. You play, Whitestone at a decent level too. If you don't see the Galaxy Soldier, I mean, you're still ending on a board with Hope Harbinger, Hope Harbinger and Makaba for sure, and whatever else with recovery plays probably, or more plays next turn. So yeah, just let me know what you guys thought. Let me know if you guys want to see actual duel videos with this deck in action, any thoughts or anything. I really like the deck the way that it is. I don't really foresee it changing too much more from the way I got it, but let me know what you guys have for thoughts. If you guys do think that there's some things that I could swap out to make it better, great. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.